the people.
Bridget Coons on behalf of Mr. Austin Miller. If you can state your name for the record.
Jeffrey Ostermiller.
All right. I think we went through on Zoom the violations that are alleged and the recommendation, but you may go ahead, Ms. Coons.
Your Honor, at this time, my client would like to admit to the violations. And we would be asking that the court depart from the recommendations for good cause. He is, as far as the no contact goes, we in no means mean to excuse it. But he received 7 texts before he replied to the victim in this case. Again, I'm not trying to mitigate it. He understands that that was against court order, but he felt that at that time it would have been okay to reply since she was texting him so much. As to everything else,
So which about the first incident then?
The consensual contact or non-consensual?
That turned into non-consensual contact.
So as far as that goes, Mr. Austin Miller, I think that there's an issue with the police report. Our focus is more so he admits to the text and calls. As to the consensual contact, he was told to leave. He was packing his bag. The police had arrived to the house.
Before I was told to leave. Correct.
Yeah. And then at that point, he was arrested. He is currently inside individual therapy. He goes once a week. He discusses issues like this, including his relationship. He even has an appointment today at 4 o'clock. He's currently in the domestic violence program. He's 12 classes down, has one that he's supposed to go to tonight as well. He completed the intensive outpatient program, finished that inside November. He's been compliant with the sober link. Currently,
5 days.
5 days.
5 days shy of my 6-month chip.
Yeah, 6 months sober. He goes to AA meetings daily and does have a sponsor with the 12 Coconuts home group. He does have a full-time job at Michigan Medicine and works inside the IT department. He has 2 upcoming huge projects with deadlines that he'd like to try to meet, as well as he's in the process of reconciling with his children. I do have 2 letters from Recovery Technology and Hagira Health Incorporated. He went to their programmings and both of them said that he was doing well in them and he was very much participated inside the activities. So we asked that he be allowed to continue with probation. And I think that he is apologetic about the scenario.
Anything from the people?
No, Your Honor, we ask that you follow the Ms. Flores' recommendation.
All right. Anything else from probation?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ostermiller, we've tried to work with you through this case, and the reports I get, and it's part of the problem is that rather than following what should be done, you always want to do things your own way, and allow you a little bit of latitude, and you just continue to not follow what we're asking you to do. I don't understand after being arrested the first time, why even after 7, 10, 15, 20 texts, I don't even understand why you respond. I don't even get it.
I should have blocked the number. I should have done anything but contact her back. I should have. I take full responsibility for that. It was a lapse in judgment. It was a lesson learned that will never be repeated. Until the day that I die, I will never contact Ms. Mason, make any attempt to contact her, go to her place of residence or work, or anything. I want to be as far away from this woman in this relationship as possible.
Anything else you want to tell me, sir?
I made a big mistake. I made a big mistake this week. It is not a mistake that I will repeat ever.
I just don't understand. I'm going to waive all remaining terms except the financial obligations. I'll discharge the defendant from probation without improvement. The $500 bond that he applied will be applied to the fines and costs in this case. Sir, I'm done. I give people chances all the time. And I don't understand the arrest, get arraigned, then contact. Makes no sense to me. And I think it's because of the way that you try to do things through your probation, and that is try to do things your way. And if it hadn't been for Miss Blair correcting you before it got to me, this day probably would have come long before now. But the way that this is going to be now is I'm going to order 93 days in jail. I'll give you credit for the 27 that you served. I am going to order that the defendant is to serve the balance. Defendant is remanded.